color and Creoles who built their homes and businesses on the land. Now we're coming up on stop 3, Fulberg, Maryland. Got a couple of people joining. Anybody hopping out? Everybody staying on. Now, we leave the French Quarter to the tourists, so you guys can listen to those Journey cover bands all night long. But we locals, we're still home, or still at work, or still asleep, depending on the situation. We are nocturnal in nature. Therefore, when we go one block to our left, typically around 9:30 in the evening, until the sun comes up, that's our 4-block strip where we hang out, known as Frenchman Street. It's a series of small eateries, as well as music. See, we listen to different kinds of music: soca, reggae, blues, jazz, funk. Depending on how we feel, we stick our head in. It's all covered. None of that electronica stuff. We'll drop kick and clean out the neighborhood if he does that. Now, see some of these original residences here. The original owners of these small cottages that you see along the streets on both sides, once upon a time were owned by women of color. Now they've been converted into upscale apartments. Now here on St. Claude Avenue, you make a left here, and you go back about 3 miles down. That's where you'll find the residence of the late Fats Domino. His residence has since been converted into a museum, and the street bears the name of the house that it sits on. Also down there is a bridge that all of us New Orleanians can't stand. It's a Strauss-Heidelberg Bridge that was bought by the state of Louisiana from Sears and Roebuck about 135 years ago. This stupid bridge goes up 5 miles per hour, but only goes down 1 mile per hour, designed to make you late, even for your own funeral. The St. Claude Bridge, making you late since 1919. Over to your left, across the street as we pass there, those are some cool murals done by our version of Banksy here, our street artist, P. Mike. There's another one on the right there. But one of my favorites is right here at the corner. The granddaughter and the grandmother of the founding member of the Black Men of Labor Social and Pleasure Club. Interesting part about that place, Sweet Lorraine's. Stopped over after work about 9 years ago to have a couple of drinks in his place. Somebody who was some type of agent or something wanted to find out if the stage was available. The owner said, he can play there if he wants to, but I don't have any money to give him. He says he doesn't want your money, I just want to play on the stage. No problem. Come to find out that was Stevie Wonder, and he performed a 3.5-hour set free of charge. Yeah, I missed work that day. Now, as we cross Esplanade Avenue, we're now in Faubourg Treme. If you look up behind this building to your right, you'll see a church steeple with a crucifix leaning. No thanks to Hurricane Ida. That is the oldest African American Catholic church, known as St. Augustine. On the grounds of that is the tomb of the unknown slave. We're coming up on stop 4. Anybody hopping out at stop 4? Everybody's remaining on course. Nobody jumping out. Also on those grounds, 2 doors down from that church, that's the former home of Claude Treme, which is now the Museum of African American History. To my left across the street as we pass it, that's WWL, just turned 65, CBS affiliate. To my right, that brown and white college in the park, that is the replica of the boyhood home of Louis Armstrong. And by the way, where Armstrong Park sits today, which is what you're looking at, that's also incorporated part of Congo Square. Every Sunday in New Orleans since 1724, this is where the slaves, former slaves, free people of color and Creoles, and the voodoo queens would all gather. That's the blessing tree right there with the white orchids on the bark. That's where they did the voodoo rituals at the beginning of the Sunday festivities with the drumming and the dancing and all of that. They'll be doing it again this Sunday between 12 and 6, and you are graciously invited if you'd like to participate. One of those lesser known facts about the city. Also on these grounds in Faubourg Treme, the keeper of the history is the history of the Mardi Gras Indians. There's a museum dedicated to them known as Backstreet Cultural Museum, roughly 7 blocks away from here. Now it'll be open tomorrow if you want to visit. It'll be open between the hours of 10 and 3 in the afternoon. And the direct descendant of the first chief is the curator of this museum. It costs $20 to get in, but you learn a lot. It'll take you about an hour, hour and a half to see everything. Now we're coming up on stop number 5, Basin Street Station. Before we go into Basin Street Station, we're gonna hang a right turn behind it to give you one last glimpse of St. Louis number 1, where a lot of our early historical notables are buried. For example, the 4th Voodoo Queen of New Orleans, Marie Laveau, she's buried there. Bernard de Meredy is buried toward the back. Not far from him, almost across the street from him, basically, is Homer Plessy. Near Homer Plessy is Barthélemy Lafont, who's responsible for the names,